I was going to make notes for this vlog, but I haven't even had enough clarity of thought to do that. I haven't had time to write a blog post. I didn't even take that many photographs this year, but I just want to try and voice or condense or archive my thoughts on BritMums Live. Anyone in the spiritual world will know that if you have Reiki or any deep healing process, you start to feel the effects of it in the days before it takes place. Some people will find that confusing. How can you start to feel it on Thursday where you're not having the session till Saturday? But it's simply because time is not linear. So messages get sent back in a circular way. The new you is talking to the current you. It's quite deep, but yeah, time is not linear. It's a bit more circular. So I was already feeling the effects of BritMums Live before I got there. But being that my thoughts were so scattered, I didn't even realise it. But with hindsight, I do. But anyway, all I could concentrate on was that I was not good enough. And I was thinking this in a vain way. So that involved a restyle because my fringe was practically at my chin. So one of the things we do when we're not feeling good enough is we take on too much, and that's definitely what I did on Friday morning. So Aaron was still in bed. It was a dream come true. It meant I could put my makeup on in peace, which I didn't. I could dress in peace, which I didn't. What did I do? I travelled from one side of London to the other to get myself groomed to be good enough. You'll understand why I keep saying good enough in a moment. Well, if I don't talk for too long, that is. So I travelled all the way to Harrow, and my cousin in a fabulous hair salon called Fusion Hair Design in near Queensbury. She did my hair. Now, wow, I never dreamed she'd do it as good as she did. My hair doesn't take any kind of body whatsoever, unless you're talking about the perms I had in my teens back in the 80s. She put body in my hair, and what was amazing was I slept that night with Claire from the Lazy Girl blog, and I said, look, at this time of night my hair still got body, but what was even more amazing was the fact that it still had it the next morning after sleeping on it. But yeah, so my cousin transformed me, and I was so pleased with the result, I decided to have a pedicure. Now, on one level that was good because it meant that my toenails looked amazing, and the whole time I was having it done, my back was pummeled by the fabulous massage chair. And there's a room at the back which, once you shut the doors, feels like you're in a spa. Normally a pedicure of that kind would cost £38, but this was only £20, so you've got to get yourself there if you can get to Harrow. Anyway, that should have made me feel good enough, but what happened was, when it was time to leave there, I said, look, I can't use your ladies to put my outfit on and do my makeup because I just need to get there. Let me get there and then I'll do that. But then that meant that when I arrived at the event, every time I bumped into people, they said to me, you look nice. I said, no, don't look at me, I'm not changed yet. This is the dress I wore in 2011. People don't care if it's the dress you wore in 2011. If they say you look nice, they mean it, and you should just take it. And ironically, the dress that they were talking about, I'm wearing today. So yeah, I've got the big cleavage that Juggle Mum, Business Mum, the winner of the video category, I've got the same cleavage now and then as she did on day one of BritMums Live. But no, couldn't take the compliment. I wasn't good enough. I needed to run to the toilets, put on makeup, and get on the outfit that was my choice of wear for that day. Even though that outfit was actually less flattering than this dress. But no, you can't wear a dress that you wore to the event in 2011, darling. That was what I decided. And the only reason I wanted to put on that outfit was because it had a floral design, and I felt that butterflies inhabit the flower kingdom. And because I was a butterfly, wouldn't it be lovely to be sporting a floral design and look the part as a butterfly? Pff, what a load of tosh. The floral design made me look larger, and then I lost my confidence because I knew I looked larger. And plus it had one of those, what do you call those things on your hips, like a peplum, or what's that frill called? That made me look even larger. And it had a round neck up to my neck, up so like here, which didn't show off my best assets. So yeah, my attempt to be good enough kind of failed drastically, which meant that when I tried to talk to people like Michelle Twin Mum and Seaside Eclair, I just talked a load of garbled nonsense, so they walked away. I wasn't me, I wasn't good enough. And then the more I could feel I wasn't myself, the more I kind of went downhill. But then a miracle happened. I bumped into Pippa from Story of Mum, and she explained to me how she was going to be doing a 45-minute retreat on the agenda. And I thought, wow, what I always do in the run-up to the event is I study the agenda. I hadn't done that. And I hadn't known I was going to be getting that diamond on the agenda. And I think when I talked to her, I cried, or I just got tearful. No, I didn't. I just got very goosebumpy, because I've been wanting to organise retreats for mums for 2 years now, and haven't done anything about it. And here I was meeting someone who was doing it, taking the path in life that I wanted to take. And I wasn't, because I wasn't good enough. Again, that phrase. But anyway, there was no way I was going to miss her session. And I think it was on the second day. My mind's a mess now, I can't remember what was what, but yeah, I think it was on the second day. But what else do I want to say? What I really noticed from the event is that everyone had parked their egos, and I'll just give you my reason why I think that was the case. I'm going to get a bit deep now, sorry. But basically, in recent years, feminine energy is being blasted to the planet. And it's kind of to reverse the 2,000 years of patriarchal energy that we've had. So a lot of changes are happening, even at a DNA level. Our DNA is being upgraded, and this process is intensifying and intensifying and intensifying. Loads of feminine energy is coming in. So of course that energy is going to intensify if 700 people are in the same place on the same day. And it was like people could feel it because they parked their egos, because that heart-centered feminine goddess energy is bigger than, you know, what we're doing in this life. So whereas in previous BritMums lives, and I don't mean the last one, I mean like years ago, previous BritMums live would have had everyone flouncing around. I'm this blog, I'm that blog, I'm the other. There was none of that. And even the stars, the Katie Hills, the Emma Freuds, even they were more human. You know, they weren't their famous selves, which is why I got very tearful when I read Rock and Roller Baby's post, because she was a bit critical of Katie Hill and she didn't see what I saw. It doesn't mean she was wrong, which is why I haven't commented on her post to say I think she's wrong. She obviously didn't see what I saw, or maybe I was just channeling something, or maybe I was just closer to the front. But what I saw was that for the event, everyone parked their egos, and I do believe it's because something a bit cosmic was going on. I know that's a bit deep, which is why I wouldn't normally say it, but I want to be good enough, and being good enough means being who I am, and being who I am involves telling you things like this, because it is what I believe. There was a lot of feminine energy being blasted into the event, and I haven't really got the ability to explain it, but I'm just hoping someone out there watching this will know what I mean. But we harnessed it in the 45-minute retreat with Story of Mum, and because I haven't harnessed that energy in a good couple of years because I haven't felt good enough, the minute I sensed it and channeled into it and tapped into it and felt that divine connection, I just cried like a baby. And I think when I came out of there, I continued to cry. It was quite a solitary experience, apart from the fact that I bonded with Mushroom's mum. She's on Twitter as Mushroom's mum. She'd bumped into Story of Mum before the 45-minute retreat, and she'd read her a poem that she'd written, and she allowed Mushroom's mum to read it during the 45-minute retreat. And yeah, I think that was what actually started me crying during the session, and then I kind of like didn't stop. But luckily Mushroom's mum let me record it after the closure of the session, so we went across to a window, and basically I recorded her reading it. It didn't have the same gravitas as when she first did it, but I'm hoping that's just because I already knew what it was going to say. I'm hoping when I let you watch it, you'll feel what I felt. So I'll attach it to this. I'll edit this video so that it's attached to that one. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I hope Mummy Barrow doesn't mind me mentioning her, but she's done quite a deep post where she's done that picture, you know, the picture where it looks like a vase in the middle but two faces left and right, and she said, you know, everyone wanted to talk to her because she was famous, and that's just not the person who she is. I found it quite jarring that it was such a different post to her post last year, where she was talking about Cheers and how isn't it lovely to be at an event where everybody knows your name, like Cheers. But what I could say to her if she was here now is I would say the price of fame is that everyone knows your public profile, and your real self is probably entirely different to that. So you've now got the fame, you've now got the public profile, and then just work on the latter part, which is the people getting to know you bit. And there's a large gang of people who do know you properly, so maybe the whole 700 didn't reflect that, but we can't all know everyone. But yeah, I know where she was coming from with that post, and there's been quite a few posts that have emotionally affected me. Like I said, Rock and Roller Babies, because I felt sad that she didn't see what I saw with Katie Hill. But maybe I'll talk about that in the blog post that I attached this video to. Also, I saw a blog post, I think it was from someone called Kieran, who wasn't comfortable with Emma Freud saying that she slept her way to the top, and with quite a few of her campaigns she tells little white lies to make them successful. But you see, I saw something else there too. I hate lies, which is why when I was a yogi my spiritual name was Satkirtan Kaur, which means truth is my name. Truth is a big, big deal for me, so I would never embrace or condone telling lies. But what I saw, which I hope this will make you think if you think about it from this angle, what I saw was someone being honest about the lying. Someone saying, you know, I fancied Richard and I did everything I could to get him. She doesn't have to admit that to a crowd of 700 of us. Someone who had the courage of her convictions to admit that some of her campaigns have been kick-started by a little white lie. That was honesty. So yes, she's talking about dishonesty, but see the bigger picture. She was incredibly heart-centered and putting it all out there. And plus, she felt comfortable with us in order to do that. So that means that she felt enough love in the room to put that out there without feeling that we'd be critical about it. And I think that's the same reason that Katie Hill was so giddy and so animated, because she was like a puppy dog who was very, very happy to be in front of us all. So yes, she might not have been composed like she might have once been on television, but I think that's because she felt good enough to be herself on stage. So yeah, I spent the event not feeling good enough, but I was perfectly capable of recognising people who were good enough to be on that stage, and good enough to let their light shine through. So yeah, but it's okay to disagree, and I'll be a bit critical now and say that I videoed Katie Hill, and when I watched the videos back, she does seem a bit giddy, but because I was on the front table, I could feel her vibes as well as what she was saying and doing, and her vibes were so wonderful. Literally, I laughed at every joke she meant. I got it every time she voiced something. I just got it. And in case I was alone, I remember every time she cracked a joke, I was looking around the table to see if other people were laughing too, and we all laughed at every joke right on cue. And yeah, I thought she was amazing. But I can perhaps post that video as well and you make up your own minds. But yeah, so are we good enough? The event concluded with a musical. We got to see, I think it was like black and white footage on a big screen at the back. Now that you can watch on YouTube. It's basically women dancing on chairs and stuff. But then what happened was actresses came on stage and they did a scene for us, and then when we couldn't get enough, they went off stage, and the producer and director then said, oh, let's get them back to show you the first scene of Act 2. And that blew our minds as well. And basically what it is it's a musical that's going to be in 2 venues in London during July, and the musical shows different types of mums and how sometimes we don't support each other. And there's one, normally you'd have good cop, bad cop, but it felt like there was 4 good cops and 1 bad cop. But the bad cop was that mum who, you know, pretends to be all things to all people and makes the rest of us feel insignificant for not living up to perfection. And I found that really heartfelt as well. And I got my notepad out and I showed Mum in a Hurry. I said, oh my God, I said, I've been doing these doodles and diagrams all weekend, and on my diagram I've basically got the food bloggers, the craft bloggers, what I call the perfect bloggers, which when I'm being bitchy I call the twee bloggers. So craft, food, twee, well sorry, perfect stroke twee, and then I say there's me, and I always feel like a square peg in a round hole who doesn't live up to any of those labels. And the musical basically made me feel like I should feel good enough, which involved a little bit of crying, well, a lot of crying. And then the work of the inner process of embracing everything I was feeling and making sense of it carried on happening on Sunday, and I had a real heartfelt conversation with my husband Sunday night. And I think it's just taught me that I need to do the work I was born to. So I need to turn conscious mum. Oh God, there's some black bananas there, sorry. I need to turn conscious mum back on, start blogging from there again, start organising my retreats for mums, stop being my inner critique and realising that I am good enough. And I don't even think I've said everything I want to say in this vlog, so I'm just going to have to watch it back and perhaps make notes, and any points I haven't made here, make them in the blog post that I'm going to attach this video to. But was there anyone else who felt that deep feminine energy during the event, or did you all just think you were at a conference? Did anyone else feel that divine connection? Did anyone else feel like there was something else bigger going on? I hope so. I'm not wording it very well, I never do. Which is why I'm kind of like not making any sense in the comments I'm making on actually Mummy's blog post. The other thing I wanted to say is this feminine energy that's coming to the planet, it now expects us to unify it with male energy. So whether that's embracing the two sides of yourself, you know, you might be a nail polishing, lipstick wearing person on the left or right. I haven't done yoga in so long I can't even remember which side is which, but you might be so feminine in your appearance, but you might be, you know, an engineer as well, and you've got your masculine side too. So I think what the energy is now asking us to do is unify that male and female side. But another way that we're being asked to step up is by embracing feminine and male as people. So I think that's another deeper reason why Emma Freud was going on and on and on about her and Richard's relationship, because they probably are like twin souls, twin flames, who are embracing the feminine in Emma and the male in Richard, and together they're stronger when the male and the feminine are beautifully combined. So I guess that's why I hate it when feminists get a bit male bashing, because we can really transcend this earthly dimension and do bigger, greater work if we embrace the feminine and the masculine. And what I also try to say is we don't have the monopoly on femininity. There are men who are actors, hairdressers, chefs, and they are embracing the feminine side of themselves. I'm the mother of a boy, and I 100%, every little dabble of anything that he does that's feminine, I allow him to do it. So recently someone said, why are you letting him watch Sophia? Because he loves it. Why are you letting him watch Doc McStuffins? Because he loves it. He is a tractor driving, train driving, masculine boy. And I'm sorry, but if I chop off the little elements of femininity he's got, he'd be out of focus, he'd be out of balance. We all need to embrace both. And I don't need to panic and say, oh my God, I'm drying Aaron with a pink towel, which I quite often do. Or, oh my God, he's watching, you know, a girly program. That doesn't bother me because he is so male. He is such a boy, such a boy's boy. So yeah, all things in moderation, I feel. And I'm not making any sense, but I hope at least one person who watches this will get what I'm trying to say. I haven't vlogged or blogged in days because I hadn't got my thoughts together, and as you can see from this vlog, I still haven't. So maybe I won't post this until I can put a blog post around it that makes better sense of it. But I'm just hoping that someone somewhere felt what I felt. There's bigger things happening than just a conference. But you know what I said about people parking their egos? I couldn't feel any egos. I really couldn't. Even some bloggers who I thought would be prancing around weren't. Everybody was just embracing what they were there for. It was really, really beautiful. And even Susanna and Jen, who had the right to have their egos on display because they organised it, they put it on, even they were just giving out heart-centred energy. When they were at reception, they didn't seem any more grand than anybody else. And when they were there to say goodbye to us as we walked out, the same thing. I couldn't feel any ego energy during the 2 days. So all my tearful episodes were inner conflicts to do with me feeling or not feeling good enough, and feeling that I need to step up and be good enough. But nobody else was making me feel that way. When I stumbled my words talking to bloggers I like and had to walk away, that wasn't them being dismissive of me, that was just me not feeling good enough. Because like I said, there was not a single element of bitchiness or egoness, or I know egoness is not on a word, but there was just beautiful energy at that conference. And because I hate myself so much of the time, to embrace that beauty was a tearful process. But I should mention Mum in a Hurry. When I did fall apart on day 2, it was bumping into her that got me back together. And we talked and we talked and we talked and we talked, but there was quite a few times that we just sat next to each other in silence. And it was like, you know that thing, that comfortable silence? It was like we knew we had similar thoughts, so we were able to just sit in silence before we'd voice them again. When I've met someone for the first time, I'm not normally able to do that, but it was like meeting a soul sister. So if you're watching this, Mum and Nari, I've only just got to know you, but it was a good thing. And thank you for getting me through day 2. It was a breakdown that led to a breakthrough. So thank you, my darling. And thank you, Claire, for being my roomie. Lots of love, everyone.